So, talk about champions,
Okay,
bro.
yeah, we got some champions coming in. Hot and spicy, just the way we
Oh
like
my
them.
God.
All right.
They didn't eat as much as me. There's no way they ate as much as me.
All right, we've got the Irelia and the Yasuo banned out by TSM, taking away some of those potential non-traditional bottom lane picks that we saw the desk talk about. Lucian banned out by Flyquest, so they're going to take out one of those more traditional picks that they also said we might see Sven on. Got removed by Flyquest. How are you doing?
I'm doing so bad. So bad.
All right, I'll keep talking. Thresh is going to be the next band coming out from TSM. We got to see Smoothie pop off on it yesterday, but today they're obviously not looking to reprise that performance. Over on Flyquest, they got 15 seconds left for their final ban, and I hope you have at least that long left.
Whose idea was this to
your
do it
mouth.
during game? Bad idea. Bad idea.
I hope.
All right, got banned out. Cassiopeia is still up. That's a really high priority pick.
Ezreal and Lucian both banned away, though.
Jace could be jungle.
Jace picked up. Yes, we saw the jungle Jace earlier today. We'll see if that ends up going towards the jungler. Maybe we see it in the top lane, as is tradition. But that's the first pick over to the side of TSM, getting that powerful early game champion nice and early. How does Flyquest want to respond? Viper has been known to play some carries in the top lane. Might get to see
I like the Malphite
carry action. We could see the Malphite. We already saw that too, but we are going to see the Nocturne start things off here for Santorin.
Yeah, that's good. Hard engaged if you see some poke. Jace is a poke champion. Zoe is up, so Bjergsen could go more poke. So
Yep, poke, and more poke.
hard engaged is always good with that. Broken Blade played the Jace last time. They split push with it. That wasn't the big issue though. It was the Smoothie Thresh in the bottom lane. Everybody remembers them hooks.
All right, it's going to be Alistar instead, getting some front line there. Poke's not going to mean that much if it's always colliding with the meatball. At least that's the way Flyquest is looking at this one for now. TSM, next couple of picks coming up are theirs. They at least have a little bit of information now as to what their opponents are planning. I want to see what they complement this Jace with, because they did pick that champion very, very early. It looks like they're going to go ahead, unclog the frog, unload the toad, uninhibit the ribbit, unbench that Kench, lock him in for TSM, as Varus will be the other pick, making sure they pick up both elements of that bottom lane.
All right, Varus can also be played as a poke champion with Q maxes. Woo, bringing back that, but Flyquest looking like they're gonna take the other one away. Zoe pickup here. Fropo Belter has been really strong for him so far this season. One of his better champions, getting Flyquest most of their wins. When does this wear off? I feel like I'm just gonna stick my tongue in the milk.
It lasts
I'm just gonna leave my tongue in the milk for a while.
Okay, Kobe's gonna leave his tongue in the milk for a while, and why he does that, I'll go ahead and cover for him. So expect some expert analysis coming up. That's not Skarner that they banned away on the side of Flyquest, so I can't comment too much on that.
100%
so
accuracy.
I am accurate on that ban. Olaf banned away, still Skarner up and available to pick for either side. TSM 10 seconds before they have to lock that next ban in. And there's a Malphite that Kobe mentioned earlier that we might get to see, but that one will be taken out by TSM. They don't want to deal with that initiation potential, that big literal rock in the top lane. Flyquest, what do you got? What's it gonna be? Still having to look towards the mid lane and potentially the jungle position, but also the top, as Jace could be jungle.
There's two basic choices now. You can go with a different tank, even if Malphite is banned, and try and weather the Jace storm. That one, you just try and CS, build armor like Darshan did yesterday on the Jarvan, and then play for later. Or Viper can go for a kill champion with Nocturne, level 6 Nocturne, you go for the kill on the Jace, try and get behind that way.
Like a Riven. I would love to see a Riven, but I don't know if we're gonna get to see that here today. Yorick and Zach banned out now, the final two bans here of this game. Over on the side of Flyquest, what's it gonna be? Hovering the Xayah, thinking about that. Sivir also been a pick that we've seen some popularity from recently. Not sure which one they're going to go for, but still a lot to choose from. Only really the top tier picks of the Ezreal and the Lucian banned out. The Sivir will be locked in. Turtle can definitely pop off on that one.
Personally, I like Sivir against Varus because of the wave clear early, but then also you can spell shield the ultimate really easily. If he doesn't throw down another spell right on top of it right beforehand, Sivir should be able to have defensive options here.
Yeah, the projectile from Varus' ultimate, very slow, very telegraphed, and you should be able to spell shield it. Action.
Spicy pick here, Flower.
I am so
It's coming in with the possibility of
that's
stealing
not
Nocturne
me.
ultimate. If you steal Nocturne ultimate with Silas, converts the AD ratio to AP, and it's
You one-shot
huge
somebody.
damage. A Silas Nocturne ultimate It happened a couple times during my games. It's actually insane. You completely one-shot them.
You're just a ballistic missile at that point. You're flying in, blowing somebody up, and the final pick over onto the side of TSM is the Sejuani, which means the Jace will not be jungling. Broken Blade will be piloting that one into the top lane.
So once again, we talked about it yesterday, but Sejuani and Jace could work really well together. When he goes melee form, stack up the stun. So even if Viper decides to go with an offensive pick on the top side, they have to be worried about this 2v2. Oh!
Oh, there we go, Camille.
Calling it.
Locked in for Flyquest. That's what I like to see. Matchups where we're going to get some kills. Camille versus Jace in the top lane. No meatball extravaganza today. No Scion, no Urgot, none of this.
And we got a turbo cleave comp from Flyquest here with Nocturne, Camille, hard engage on the back of Alistar, Sivir speeding everyone up and shredding people. The idea behind it is your full offensive pressure with everyone trying to attack and dive the enemy team allows Sivir to play forward even if she doesn't have the strongest front line.
TSM, there's some pretty decent front line over here. You've got the Sejuani, which will constantly be tanking things up. Sylas can be a pretty effective frontliner. We've seen a lot of builds be very tanky on him, even when played in the mid lane. Yesterday, we saw Niski on Cloud9 when they defeated Flyquest to go for a Rod of Ages into Iceborne and Spirit Visage build, so very hard to kill him there. And of course, Tahm Kench can keep everybody alive as need be with that Devour. If Smoothie plays anything like he did yesterday, I'm sure he'll be on point with those saves.
Smoothie has been insane so far, and him on Tahm Kench opens up their mid-game options. The idea is to have your Jace get ahead early, split push, spread the map apart, and Tahm Kench there, Smoothie, give him the options to go from lane to lane, attacking people as they're spread out. They do have to worry about the Nocturne ultimate though, turning off the lights, negating some of the teleports, and collapsing quickly.
All right, we're loading into game now. Both these teams sitting at a spot halfway through the split where they could be one of those top contenders, where they could be a force to be reckoned with up there with Cloud9 and Team Liquid. But what better way to prove it than taking down the other side? You can hear the roars of the crowd. They're excited for TSM. A squad that never fails to draw some fans here into the battle arena as they're out on the Rift for game number 4 of the day. 5 versus 4, the record for both these sides. Just barely going positive, wins over losses in that first round robin. Looking to make a more impressive showing yet here in the second half of the split. As Broken Blade and other members of TSM, both the jungler and the mid laner there, going to be stepping into enemy territory, flexing nice and early.
Yeah, we got the Scuttle Crab wards down, so they'll be able to see junglers move into the river. Generally, you're going to have to wait for the Nocturne to give away his path. I like this deep ward. You see TSM stuck into the jungle here. Put a super deep ward on Santorn's red buff. Ooh!
Oh, Bjergsen jumping in there, grabbing some cheeky damage onto Pobelter. Follow-up from the bottom side of TSM also means they're going to get POB down to about half health.
Yeah, that sends a message. You establish dominance, but also 1 minute, 15 seconds into the game. Feeling pretty good. It's actually the
Let
milk.
him know.
The milk is really working. I'm just gonna every time I stop talking, I'm just gonna leave my mouth in this milk, and it's actually taken away.
That is his handle on Twitter, by the way. So make sure you send him plenty of words of encouragement at Riot Kobe.
Oh yeah, while we're selling out there, hit up the Instagram at Lol Esports Kobe. Or no, wait a second. Just Esports Kobe. There you go.
Yeah, Instagram at Esports Kobe, showing him a picture of you eating a super spicy chip with hot sauce so that you can show that you stand with Kobe. He would appreciate it.
Meanwhile, that ward we were talking about, Santorn's red buff there, did see him, so they know that he's going top side. So you can see Sejuani here, Acadian, already slipping in to take the top Scuttle Crab, and Sejuani should be able to control pretty much the entire early route here. That early ward down onto the red going to give them a lot of vision.
Easy Scuttle Crab take for Acadian. Stun it up, beat it down, smack it around.
That's the Sejuani Scuttle Crab wrap.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like it. Nice and easy recipe to some jungle vision. Meanwhile, I've really liked how a lot of the mid laners have been playing the Sylas. You saw Bjergsen going super aggressive there. They take the Aftershock. They've been going the semi-defensive route with a semi-tank item early on to be able to go in for these trades, sustain with the Corrupting Potion, and control the wave a decent amount for the early game while they wait to scale up to get lower cooldowns on their ult.
But of course, going up against a champion like Zoe, not the best, considering her ulti's not that useful for Sylas. At the same time, we've seen her pop off in quite a few games so far this split. The champion has absolutely ridiculous damage as long as she stays farmed up and decently relevant.
And quite a few of those games were Poe Belter himself,
Yes, sir.
POB. This guy has started off spring 2019 so incredibly strong. People are doubting him. They've doubted him so many times. You know, every time he does well in the North American LCS and then heads to an international event, has a couple of good games, and then starts to fall off. People lose a bit of faith, but he's shown back up very strong. Kind of a resurgence year for him in 2019.
Bottom side, Turtle will be shoving up this bottom lane with JJ, making sure that Sven and Smoothie are stuck under the turret for now. As you already mentioned, the Sivir pick into the Varus. You can shove him in early. The wave push of Sivir makes it so what is normally a lane bully in the Varus isn't quite on that front footing that he wants to be.
Yeah, they pretty much have to wait for junglers scum down bottom if they want to get any action, because Tom Kench is going to die a lot on the side of TSM. Meanwhile, Spell Shield and Alistar, very good defensively for Flyquest side. And it's actually a pretty clear route there for Santorin to try and fast farm up to 6 on the Nocturne and look for that play. And I would think the play would be top side, because we set it up in Champ Select. These two top laners, both carry top laners, they want to get to split push viability. And split push viability is a key checkpoint that a lot of these key top lane champions have to hit at least one item. And oftentimes it's like 1.5, where Trinity Force plus the Tiamat for the likes of Camille or something like that, where you can have control of the wave, but also have the power to get to your one-on-ones. But here, Santorin's first to the party, Acadian right behind him.
Santorin thinking about going into top lane, but as soon as Acadian shows up, he doesn't want anything to do with taking that fight further. The wave has built up pretty heavily for the side of TSM. But bottom side is Ben, who's in some trouble. Smoothie keeping him safe with the Devour, going to be stunned up now himself. Turtle will not be able to find the rest of the damage there. Comet flies out with a piercing arrow, finding a little bit more damage! Flash into the auto attack, and Wild Turtle will take first blood. Meanwhile, topside is Acadian having to get himself away. Broken Blade looking to come in, back his jungler up. Instead, the jungler's already down, and Broken Blade heads home. Not looking too good. Santorin wants to chase this one down. No flash available on the Nocturne, but does manage to tag him with that spooky path.
And these have been two of the quickest and bloodiest teams in the North American LCS in 2019, right up there with Cloud9. Flyquest are the ones that come out swinging this time around, though, and Turtle with the flash forward. People flame him oftentimes, and just yesterday on the Yasuo making so many aggressive plays, but this time around, JJ makes the initiation. Boomerang Blade comes over, guaranteed damage, ignite as well, and then after the Devourer spits him out, Turtle's waiting on his cooldown for the next Boomerang Blade. Boom! Hits that one dead on. Mac, as soon as he saw the confirm hit on the backswing there, he flashes in for the auto. I really like how he didn't do it early, and he's able to finish off the kill there, even though Sven tried to get out. But then topside, Santorin and Viper both also playing aggressively, in tandem, flashing forward, getting the kill for themselves, and forcing them off of Broken Blade.
You can go ahead and tweet us at LOL Esports. Let us know what you think are the biggest plays of the game, biggest plays of the day with the hashtag LCS Big Plays. Or you can probably also just let us know if you think Kobe's having a good time yet. I know it's not gone, but is it at least better?
It's definitely better.
Okay.
I mean, it was actually insane at the beginning. The milk definitely helps a lot. So PSA to anyone out there trying to do one of these ill-advised bets. First of all, I say don't do it.
No, all you got to do is get the bet right.
And second of all, you definitely need to get some milk around for you. But it looks like we have hit level 6s for the mid laners here. And now I'm actually going to look who is going to get the roam here. Both of these mid laners can have a very big impact. If they get the push on the minion wave, Zoe can get bubbles over walls. And we've seen the impact of Sylas slipping in with all of his mobility, trying to steal an ultimate.
Oh, yeah, especially if it's a big high-value ulti. As you already mentioned, you've got Nocturne, which has a super desirable ultimate to steal away. If Bjergsen can manage to get himself that one from Santorin, could be used for some serious playmaking here on the side of TSM, especially once you get the ultimate enabled for your other big initiators or crowd controls like Acadian, like Sven. Bottom side, we're going to see Smoothie and Sven midway through the lane now. Turtle finally dings level 6. But considering his opponents are pushing up, they've got the wave. No reason to force any kind of a fight down here. Also, no eyes on where Acadian may be at.
Yeah, take a look at their surrounding vision. I mean, the control word right there on your screen for TSM. TSM pretty much have the full clear route there for a possible gank. So Flyquest playing back off, not extending themselves. Oh, and look, we do have the serrated Dirk on the recall there for Sven. He's going with a more poke-oriented Varus early on that we were looking for. Comet going to land that extra damage. It synergizes super well with the Jace. So TSM will have 2 lethality-based AD poke champions fairly early in the game. That's one of the things about both Jace and Varus. They're basically operational as poke champions with a basic ability max and a little bit of lethality.
Nice little trade there coming out from Pobelter onto Bjergsen, waiting and holding the sleepy trouble bubble until he knew his opponent would be able to juke it very easily. Means he could set it up with the follow-up Paddle Star, but yeah, considering they have double lethality poke champs on the side of TSM, it just makes early armor imperative for the side of Flyquest to make sure you're not losing half HP to those arrows and shock blasts.
Plus the fact that the first Drake is an Ocean Drake. Anytime you're against long-range champions like this, Derm team the... Ooh, never mind. We might have level 6s. Let's get some action.
Viper realizes what's going on, and now they're going to be bringing the fight to TSM. As soon as Viper gets his backup, they're going in, and Santorin's making sure they've got the 3rd kill of the game.
They're simply winning the 2v2s here. Flyquest and TSM on the same timing, but Santorin is able to get in there, and enough burst damage with the Camille and Nocturne. They just put out way more burst damage in a 2v2 scenario. They can down a target first. They keep going after Broken Blade. Camille Ultimate is able to knock him away as well for a bit of a delay there. And Flyquest have been winning the skirmishes on top and bottom.
Winning that 2v2 gets Nocturne a nice coupon for a free crab dinner as well, securing him a little bit of extra control in the top side of the river, making sure he's got some extra money and experience in his pocket. Bottom side breaking pretty even here. We're not seeing the 2 versus 2 Sven and Smoothie complete pop-off that destroys the game in 20 minutes like yesterday.
Yeah, quite the contrary. Very good play from JJ and Wild Turtle thus far. TSM have been able to recover easily in the CS though. It didn't get them down at all. And Sven down there on the bottom side actually does have a slight and marginal lead for himself. He's going back. The other positive thing about going lethality build for Varus is you can go back for purchases on most timings and feel pretty good about it because you just pick up a bunch of long swords. But we'll see if it actually does result in the early dragon, because as we said before, this is an Ocean Drake, and Ocean Drake is the best, bar none, versus a poke composition like this. Even if it's only half poke, right? If there are a couple of long-range champions like that, you want to be able to back off and regenerate. So you can tell why they're using all these early control wards around the dragon. They really want to set up. The first one's going to be so big.
And especially the way that the Drakes work now, the way that they are more heavily weighted towards the first Drake, just getting that first bonus can go a long way for the side of Flyquest to make sure that that's not going to stick as hard.
The first Ocean Drake is actually worth twice as much as the second one that you would get.
Belter fires off the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, but now he's the one that might be in some trouble. TSM going to be sending in the mid lane. Belter has to try to get himself away, popping the flash to make sure he escapes firing the Paddle Star back. Not connecting on it, but gets himself away.
Yep, he does have to use everything, does get away, so TSM should look to try and continue to attack that point. Both summoners down on Zoe. Zoe is a fairly low mobility mage, I consider her, because even though you do move a bit with your ultimate, going right back the point where you cast it can definitely be easy pickings for the enemy team. Viper is able to go in for that stun, but it's pretty risky.
It's a good stun there. Tries to get himself away from the accelerated shock blast, but Broken Blade's aim is true. Viper's going home.
Let's see if he can get to the Sheen at least to add that burst damage, because if it does continue to come down to 2v2s in the top side, if they build into more burst damage for their combo with the Nocturne and Camille, I do continue to see those 2v2s going their way. Currently, he's actually building more defensively. It looks like he wants to survive lane more because Broken Blade, with his completed Ghost Blade, has really been dishing out the harassment. And this is the kind of early power spike where it's double Ghost Blades on both of those early lethality users, and TSM might try and exploit that.
And look at the price point comparison between getting the items that are going to be effective for you when you compare Jace versus Camille. Ghost Blade, you can rush it. It costs 2,900 gold to complete. For Camille, you need to get the TM first. That's 1,300. Then your Trinity Force is another 3,700. That's 5K before Camille's feeling comfortable in the same way that Jace does at 2.9. So really good spot right now for Broken Blade. Feeling good potentially about these 2v2s, but as you already mentioned, they haven't gone so well for TSM so far. Santorin cleaning up that red buff and hovering topside still, just in case TSM wants to attempt it again.
All right, looks like Bjergsen is also going to go the Rod of Ages scaling build here a little bit for Silas in the mid lane. Generally, he's going to try and get a cooldown reduction item after that. I personally really like the Zhonya's, but we shall see since he's against Zoe in lane. Might go for something magic resist related instead, although he will have to do with a lot of AD threats later.
Absolutely. Camille, Nocturne, Sivir. And the worst part is you can say, well, yeah, it's 3 physical threats and 1 magic threat, but that 1 magic threat can 100-0 you if she lands a bubble. So very, very concerning when you are one of those melee champions who have to put themselves in more danger. Ben and Smoothie continuing to farm up here on the bottom side. That farm staying dead even between these two. When you look at the solo lanes, though, it's about a 20 lead for the side of Pobelter over Bjergsen, and equal lead for Broken Blade over Viper in the top side.
And equal footing as far as the vision around this Drake, too. You can tell nobody wanting to overextend here. If we look a little bit further into how this match is going to play out in the next couple of minutes, you expect a big Nocturne ultimate to come through. They're actually going to use it now.
Bottom side, there they go. Smoothie looking to keep his AD carry safe yet again. Has to spin him right back out. Sven getting himself away, firing off the chains of corruption. Smoothie taken nearly down, but not going to be staying sayonara just yet. The piercing arrow comes out, but nobody's dropping today.
Really, really big chunks on both health bars of both supports here with the bottom side. But TSM live through the Nocturne ultimate. It is at the cost of both bottom laners' flashes, though, and that might weaken the team fight around this dragon.
Turret plates, not super impressive this game. 1 plate taken by each side. Yesterday,
Might be a whole
TSM
turret.
took all 15 plates before 14 minutes, so they're not going to have nearly as much gold in their pockets this time around. TSM and Acadian working on taking down that first turret of the game there in the top side. That'll do wonders to help them catch up from this 2,000 gold deficit. Bjergsen not finding the stun there onto Pobelter. He might be in a pretty bad spot. Pobelter does have the summoner heal on the W. Gets himself away back towards his lane. Doesn't want to continue the fight any further.
Yeah, he hit the bubble, and then Bjergsen fell asleep right as he was trying to dash over the wall. So Pobelter got to land a bunch more poke on him afterwards. But again, Bjergsen turns around, goes in for the heal off the W there, and is able to get a lot of it back for himself. Plus, Corrupting Potion topping him right back off for the mid lane.
Stopwatch check-in, as I like to normally do. Top lane, mid lane, support to the side of TSM. Over on the side of Flyquest, I
Good habit.
one in the jungle. Yeah, considering these items often dictate so much about early skirmishes and fights once they come online, it's my #1 important thing in the inventory to track. Yeah, Ghost Blades are cool. Sure, I like Rod of Ages. Okay, Tiamat. But stopwatches change the game.
Especially as a jungler. If you're looking to dive people,
Yeah.
that's the first thing that you should have. Just kind of build it into your daily routine. Check the tab menu, see who's got stopwatches and when they're coming online.
Nobody's still made a play for this Drake yet. 15.5 minutes into the game is a pretty long time for the first one to still stay alive.
Yeah, we were expecting a little bit more early action with how well Flyquest started out. But look at the top lane. The tower's about to go down from this chase, so I expect TSM actually to be the one to pull off the rotation here. They pushed the minion wave in. Turret money is going to go a long ways towards equalizing their combat effectiveness for this dragon. They already have earlier spiking champions and items like we talked about. Even though they are down in gold and miss out some of the kills, Flyquest are kind of scared to post up around the dragon when if you get hit by one Jace arrow as well as one shock blast, or one shock blast as well as one Varus arrow, then that will be 75% of one of the champion's health bars early on in the game. That's why TSM have been able to really retain some semblance of control here in the early game, even despite the early Flyquest kills.
Flyquest thinking about maybe making something happen here. They got 4 people around, but they don't want to force anything. Bjergsen does have a level 2 Nocturne ultimate available for himself, so next team fight, we should be able to see that burst potential that you were talking about coming out from him with that one stolen away. I wonder, can I look at the tooltip and see how much damage it'll actually do? All right, he's getting 74 extra damage on it from his AP, because he's not super AP heavy, because he went for the Rod of Ages.
Yeah, he's got a couple of rings there, and the Rod at 4 stacks at the moment. Still, I feel like it'll be a big moment to watch. In general, Nocturne Ultimate, regardless of what build you are for Silas, is an amazing ultimate to steal. It's definitely one of those game-changing ultimates. Turning off the vision for your opponents for one of these team fights is so big. Plus, Silas is already such a mobile champion. It makes him even more of a threat than Nocturne himself. It's one of those things where you steal Nocturne's ultimate, you're actually a better Nocturne.
I'm a better you.
It's actually a better Nocturne because Silas also brings more mobility and chance for re-engage.
Dashing away from the paddle star there, keeping himself safe against Pobelter. And Flyquest's lead still exists. It's very small, and the one thing I'm going to be watching this team do as we approach the mid-game is not make the same unforced errors that we saw in their match yesterday, where they were ahead, they were doing pretty good, but then their over-aggression got the better of them. They got a little bit too big for their britches. They tried to go in for some fights they shouldn't have been going in for. They got caught out. We saw Turtle dashing in, being shut down by Zazel taunting on the Galio. So this time I want to see a little bit more tempered aggression. I want to see some patience when Flyquest does decide to make something happen. Mid lane is Bjergsen going in with the paranoia on the Silas. Gets put to sleep. The paddle star comes back out. Zoe tries to make it a pretty even trade, and it will be so.
Yeah, I guess that was way less climactic than we thought it was going to be. With the Silas going in there with the semi-tank build. He does get hit with the Sleepy Trouble Bubble on the way in, and so that's why it kind of broke up a lot of the possible combo there. And as you're saying, Zoe pretty slippery, but here's the real Doctor.
All right, he's saying, you did it, I'm gonna do it now myself. But it's a 3 versus 3 bottom fight. Acadian shows up, not gonna find his charge or his ulti. Missing that one on a Wild Turtle, but still looking to go further, even more into this fight as the TP will be used. Broken Blade coming in, accelerated shot blast down to the JJ. Then make sure he gets him with a piercing arrow, and that is 1 for 0 TSM.
And TSM are able to combine with both of their lethality champions. Sven chases that one down. He's also completed a dust plate at this point. So that big burst damage was definitely prevalent there. We have the Shelly activation, so they want to get the Rift Hilt, and then I would imagine transition into this Ocean Drake that they want to get off the field.
They're trying to defend this turret as much as they can on the side of Flyquest. They will manage to keep it alive just barely. Viper's made his way into bottom lane with a TP, but 5 members of TSM still here. Means that it could be hard to make something happen. They found the Sleepy Trouble, well, they found Broken Blade, but the stopwatch is going to buy him a little bit of time. That's why I tracked that item, Kobe.
Definitely came up big for TSM there, but even just that catch, the Sleepy Trouble Bubble there from Pobelter makes sure TSM don't get the Dragon. Because Broken Blade was far away from the rest of TSM, the entire team had to turn off of the Dragon, come back to save him, and Smoothie gets him out with a Devour, but that does kind of delay still this Dragon. We're almost 20 minutes into the game.
Yeah,
and,
no Drake.
The Ocean Drake's still alive and well. I'm sure that the Drake is happy about that one, but both teams really eyeballing it.
Ocean Drake's doing okay, but bottom side.
So, Nocturne Ultimate number 1 didn't get much in mid lane. Nocturne Ultimate number 2 also doesn't get much bot. Santorin having to flash out afterwards. Acadian tries to drift around the two other frontliners there and hit the backline with the ultimate. Doesn't quite get it because there's not a possible angle there. But again, the Jace speed gate there is able to give Sven speed as well as Broken Blade. Really nice use to get that buff onto both people.
Oh yeah.
A lot of times Jason will just apply it to themselves, but that was a very key activation for Broken Blade to allow that kill. And now TSM are back out onto the Drake. They've been able to reset and they should be able to take it.
All right, Mr. Dragon, your days are numbered. You lived for almost 21 minutes.
He had a good run.
5 seconds shy. F in the chat for the Ocean Drake. He tried his hardest.
Bobby.
But it was not enough. I'm sorry, Mr. Dragon. We will remember you. Play the Sarah McLachlan sad songs. It's a sad, sad day in the bottom side of the river, but it's a happy day for TSM. They've managed to get themselves the Ocean Drake, which means more mana regeneration for the poke. It means no health regeneration for their opponents as that poke lands, and it means it's another thing going into their pocket to make this game pretty much even. It's only 1,000 gold apart. There's only been 1 turret taken by both sides, and we're averaging, what, a kill every 5 minutes? The game's pace hasn't been very fast this time.
It has been a decent amount of fighting, but most of the fighting has been around placements of these wards and just waiting for Nocturne timings, whether it's a Silas Nocturne timing or it's an actual Nocturne timing for going in on these ultimates. And I'm fairly excited for how this game plays out because there's a lot of possibility for cross-map play, right? We've got both teams opting for split push solo lane champions. Jace and Camille have very similar goals. Camille now at her breakpoint, the Trinity Force Tiamat that we mentioned early on in the game.
She's finally feeling good.
Finally achieved here for Viper. So we'll see what Flyquest have to say about it, as TSM very happy to get this Ocean Drake, and now they could transition into Tom Kench, plus Varus in the mid lane and use the threat of Tahm Kench to their side lanes to really empower the Jace and Silas's split pushes of their own.
Worth noting that Bjergsen also picked up the Iceborne Gauntlet after the last fight, so he's got more spell weaving power, activating those, getting the slow fields down, along with the fact that he's just got more armor and cooldowns too. The stats on the item, fantastic for what they're going up against on the side of Flyquest. Over on the Zoe, you can see you have the typical mage heavy cannon build with the Luden's Echo into the Oblivion Orb, into the Sorcerer's Shoe. Was the staple for a long time on every mid lane AP champion. After the nerfs to Oblivion Orb, it didn't make it a mandatory build any further, but if you're looking to just one-shot somebody, chunk someone out and send them home, still a very effective build path to take. Pobelter just keeps on shoving these waves up, wants to clear things out, continue farming up. Wild Turtle on that Sivir. 2 items now completed, Infinity Edge and Static Shiv. Plenty of AoE, plenty of crits, but you still want to see 3 items before that Sivir really turns on.
I feel like I'm happy with 2.
Don't settle, Kobe. You deserve better.
Fair enough. I should set higher standards for myself.
Yeah.
So personally though, when I'm playing Marksman, I get to a Infinity Edge and Static Shiv. Now with the Infinity Edge giving its own crit once again and Static Shiv having that super good synergy with it, the feeling of your shock just AoE critting everyone and having the super big crit feels super good to me. Turtle's got incredible AoE right now. Being able to operate the W as well as Q and Static Shiv proc. So that's a very big amount of power for a clumped up team fight. The problem is it's going to be kind of hard to navigate those because Flyquest, they still want to have Viper on the bottom side, and it's more about their 4-man squad and the Alistar protecting Wild Turtle and giving him room to work with.
Stolen Sivir ultimate now for Bjergsen. Always worth keeping track of which one he has tucked away, ready for the next team fight.
Exactly, and it's really good to steal an ultimate early for Sylas. Then you wait for yours to cool down, so you can look for more.
For those not aware, Silas's cooldown on when he can recast the ultimate does not depend on when you cast the opponent's ultimate, it depends on when you stole it. So making sure that he has that ready to go means he can pop the On the Hunt as soon as we start the fight, and then potentially again after we get into it.
So right there, they landed the Varus ultimate on Pobelter, but they knew that he had cleanse, so nobody really jumped on it, and Pobelter also held on to his cleanse. In the end, they also threw out the Sejuani ultimate, but the goal there was the tower, and TSM knocked down another one. All outers now taken off the field. That is always objective number 1 for these types of situations.
Correcting misinformation there for a second. The actual Sylas ultimate cooldown does not begin until you cast the ult that you already stole. However, it does lower the cooldown against that specific person, so it will mean he can steal the On the Hunt again
That's
sooner.
that circle you see under Sivir right now?
Yeah, that's the circle. The circle is shrinking. The Sylas ulti cooldown isn't quite ready yet. Misworded that one, so had to make sure that I wasn't giving anybody the wrong advice here, as On the Hunt is going to be popped now for the side of TSM. Bjergsen making that one happen, and now you can see there that cooldown timer started, and we're working down from 40 seconds.
All right. Moving over to the Drake. See if Cloud Drake will fare any better than Ocean Drake did. TSM look like they want this one too. They're setting up around it. And I think that Flyquest are not going to be able to get into position in time to answer. They do have a teleport on Viper, but it's so risky since TSM have done a very good job of clearing out all the vision around this Drake. And it should go over to them.
Still only that one Drake taken, so not going to see a ton of them this game. Elder Drake will not be as big of a buff as we've seen him be before in some previous matches, but with TSM going down there, as you said, should be pretty good for these guys to take. Flyquest just hanging out on the back foot for a while now, seems to be pretty content farming things up, waiting to scale. Centaur will walk down, only to see that Drake, having already been taken, walks himself over the Speed Shrine. He has a Guardian Angel on this Nocturne. He's got another stopwatch in his inventory, so he's ready to make those big, completely haphazard dives where he can throw himself into the middle of everyone and not worry about the punishment. Turtle pushes up here in the mid lane, got JJ next to him. Spell Shield onto the Piercing Arrow, well timed there. But Flyquest can still not find themselves any more outer turrets.
Yeah, they're definitely on the back foot here. They don't have a lot of territory of their own to work with, so they're trying to put up defensive vision mostly and just keep their lines of income open. If they don't get their jungle camps and minion waves denied during this kind of risky timing for them, where TSM has the extra control over the neutral ground, then that will be considered a win for them. And there you go. Now they've hit the Captain Flowers breakpoint of free item skipper, and definitely very, very willing to have the four-man squad chase someone down. What Flyquest are looking for is splitting the map with the Camille. You want to stretch out your opponents, and then Zoe Bubbles constantly can get fired off. That is a very low-cost ability with a very low
low risk, high reward
cooldown as well. So you should just be, fishing with them, throwing them off, not really risking much when you're looking for those picks. If one of those lands, they have the perfect follow-up, a Sivir-boosted Alistar, and a Nocturne ultimate charged right at the person who's sleeping to really give them nightmares.
Sven has all 3 lethality items now completed onto this Varus. We're talking about Wild Turtle hitting a big power point for himself. Sven also at one of those, but remember, as the game goes on, if you have one of those traditional long drawn-out team fights, a crit AD carry will vastly outperform a lethality champion that only designed for poke. So TSM need to make sure they're playing these fights correctly beforehand and not just getting into that straight-up 5v5.
One caveat to that is that if the enemy team doesn't have a super tank, a main tank that you have to get through, then you can still have a super big, impact with the lethality one. I'd say Alistar is the main person that Sven is gonna have to get around. Oh man, he actually takes a big chunk there.
Luckily, the Sleepy Trouble bubble was blocked up by Smoothie, who wasn't too worried about himself being dove on. Wild Turtle. Honestly, if Turtle got a Ricochet with a crit, he probably could have just killed Sven if he was slept. Of course, Smoothie would have stopped it with a Devour, but still, lots to worry about.
I mean, there have been stories written about 6-item Sivir, and the stories are all true. So it just gets better from here. You were looking for your 3-item, crit multipliers. Those are all available, and Turtle gonna be happy to continue building on that one. I would say very similar things for Camille versus Jace. Camille continues to scale incredibly well, as a 1v1 threat, whereas Jace has most of the impact when you siege up and you're trying to land these shock blasts and poke damage. Pobelter, though, under attack.
Pobelter wants to keep himself alive, flashing out, cleansing away, keeping himself back from the danger. Replies with some paddle stars, and JJ's going in, able to start the fight off. Headbutt into the pulverize. Bjergsen's in some danger. Gonna be bursted very low, not quite taken down. Sleepy Trouble Bubble goes flying off into the ether as Turtle looks for some more. Bjergsen goes into the stasis, keeping himself alive. Viper trying to find someone else into the back lines. JJ still rampaging around, but it's gonna be Viper who's brought down. TSM kited out excellently.
Oh my god, who is over chasing who here? TSM go way past the turret onto Pobelter. The Zoe gets away with a couple of summer spells, but then Flyquest over Jace, and Bjergsen turns it around with the Silas heal there, surprising everybody on Flyquest, healing back up. In the meantime, that was a 5v4, and Santorin was down bottom side, takes away the turret.
Santorin bottom side at least makes the tier 2 take for another tier 2, so that breaks even. The gold is still within 500 of one another for the teams. That was insanity, though. A couple more auto attacks on either side could have changed the way things went. Let's take another look.
All right, so they go into Pobelter here. He's got both summoners. Pobelter actually uses his summoner so well. Flashes early, then cleanses after that to get out of this Sejuani stun. And after both Bjergsen and Acadian had hard committed, we've got a Baron on our screen. It's going down.
And while it is gone, nothing to say or do on the side of Flyquest as TSM make sure they get themselves the biggest win of the game here so far.
Well, that answers that. It was Flyquest who were the ones who were over chasing because TSM were able to get the Baron afterwards. And a Baron empowered Varus Jace composition. It's two. I see what you're going for. There's 2 Ghost Blades on Broken Blade.
One for each hand?
One of those is definitely supposed to be an Edge of Night, I'd say, unless he really, really, really wanted to get to that 40% cooldown reduction breakpoint. I'm going to go with that. He wanted the cooldown reduction breakpoint. Maybe he doesn't have any in his runes. We didn't actually see all of the runes.
Is this some like weeb cosplay where you put a samurai sword in each hand?
All right, it's whatever. I'm not going to try and save him. Never mind. It's a unique.
Everything on this item is unique.
There's no saving him here. That was supposed to be an Edge of Night.
Okay, just making sure we're seeing the right thing here. So, he's Broken Blade, so he needed another one so it wouldn't be broken. But meanwhile, it's Flyquest starting off here in the mid lane, looking to start the fight. Santorin off the side, looking to run down that Jace. Can they find the damage? The answer is no. Viper tries to continue finding some more here, but he won't chase any further. TSM again getting themselves back, disengaging these fights, utilizing all the tools in their CC, their disengage, their Tom Kench to make sure that Flyquest can't get anything.
Yeah, I thought that he also already had a Duskblade of Drakthar, but he doesn't have it. So there's actually 0 reason one of them should not be Duskblade.
How are they on different cooldowns?
That's actually really weird.
What?
Oh, maybe, so he used one early and you can't use it while the active is going, but then...
The active's supposed to be unique.
Yeah.
They should activate together.
All right, visual bug maybe. It looks like they're timing out at the same time. So the indicator was a little bit off and fooling you, buddy.
Okay. All right.
They're still playing tricks on you.
I'm done talking about these swords. I'm just going to leave these things in the inventory and not worry about them anymore. Broken Blade, you go do your own thing with your Yumu's Ghost Blades, and we'll see what TSM can do. They have another Drake available on the field for themselves to take. They currently own the map. They're up about 2,500 gold. Pretty much the entirety of their lead consists of their Baron power play gain, which shows you how close this game was before they managed to sneak that one out from underneath Flyquest.
All right, they're back at another turret here. Poke gonna come down, shock blast, watch out for the arrows as well. Everybody has to back off, turret is down.
Turret falls, and that means TSM has managed to take everything on the map outside of the enemy base. Now it comes time to lay siege to the walls. Often one of the most difficult tasks for a team to execute, but Baron buff is what makes it really happen. Still 45 seconds left on this one for them to continue trying to push up. Flyquest need to defend this tier 3. They've almost got their Nocturne ulti ready to go here again. Wild Turtle also having the ult ready to go. But they got to make sure they don't get poked down too hard to start things off. It's Bjergsen popping a paranoia of his own against Flyquest to begin the fight. Acadian thrown up in the air. JJ on the front line. Aftershock and ulti keeping him alive. Cannon Minion continuing to fire off. Pobelter nearly killed means he has to retreat. And Pobelter in retreat means the rest of Flyquest cannot engage in an honest fight. They have to wait until he's ready again, which means losing this tier 3 on the bottom side. But remember, you've still got the real Nocturne ultimate ready to go on Santorin. JJ no Alistar ulti, so that weakens your front line. But can Flyquest fight for this, or do they just surrender it for free here? It looks like they give it away, and TSM head home.
With only 4 seconds left on the Baron buff, goal has been completed here by TSM. They're able to take down that inhibitor and reset completely. Flyquest, they're still trying to buy time and weather this storm because we're definitely in the peak performance area for lethality-based folk champions, right? If Flyquest can push this game another 15 minutes, then they can have another opportunity to go super offensive. But currently, TSM doing a very good job playing off their power spike and getting one of the main objectives down. Getting that inhibitor is the hardest part of completing your win condition with this type of composition. And the mid tower sustained a lot of damage as well, so that'll be the next target.
One thing I want to point out about Sven's build that you see right now, he does have the 3 completed lethality items. The serrated Dirk you leave in the inventory uncompleted as a final source of lethality. Yes, it only gives 10 compared to the 18 of the completed ones, but it's the only other way to get more of that stat. And when you just want to min-max, you take every little bit you can get. Smoothie and Sven looking to make the play on the poke belt top side. Wild Turtle make sure they go on the hunt, getting themselves out. Sven is gobbled up, he's kept safe, and TSM's plans are foiled.
They keep chasing Pobelter today, but Pope will not be caught on this Zoe. He has been extremely slippery. He does get away this time as well. His turrets and structures have not been so lucky, though. Those ones have not been able to run away, and TSM has gained so much ground into the Flyquest defenses that even though there aren't that many deaths on the side of Flyquest, only 2 kills here for TSM, they still have the momentum in the game. They've been pushing so heavily, and they should not stop. I think they need to keep this pace up.
And the thing that honestly sticks out to me as a way to tell the tale of what has happened with Flyquest this game is the stopwatch in the inventory of Santorin. He has had that thing so long, but has never had the opportunity to use it because Flyquest has never started a fight where he's diving into the back line. That one big fight they had in top lane, he was the one who wasn't there.
And he even made a Guardian Angel and bought another stopwatch.
Yeah, this was bought a long time ago. Guardian Angel was his second item right after Warrior. The stopwatch was with that to make sure that he could dive in, and then Flyquest have never had a full 5-man fight.
Now they've got another one. Viper just picked one up as well. It seems like Flyquest know that they're about to make their stand. Those are very big play-making items, the stopwatches. And with 2 of them for their divers on the front line, you really got to watch out for flank possibilities. So TSM have to do their homework right now, lay down some vision and cut off all these angles that Flyquest are trying to look for.
Like the Lord Dominic's regards pick up for Wild Turtle here as well. Recognizes everybody on the enemy team has some armor at this point, so that's always going to be a good purchase. Bjergsen nearly blown up there. Pobelter hopping over the wall, eats a little bit of damage himself, but not nearly as much as is put onto his opponent. Bjergsen needs to head back to the spawn platform after that one, which will give Flyquest a little bit of breathing room here.
All right, that's exactly what Flyquest need right now. vision on Baron and some extra breathing room. While they've got some wards on Baron, they know that they can go for the reset, try and get those extra few purchases. But now they immediately need to get back out here and cover it because TSM can take it down very quickly.
This is what blew the game
Teleport is ready for
wide
Viper.
open earlier and made it so TSM was able to take everything they've already got. Flyquest, can you get in there and stop this in time? If nothing else, they've got to find some sort of retaliation. TSM forced off the Baron for now. Flyquest still looking to maybe start something here. Baron down to 2.5K. Santorin's made his way into the pit. It's Might Fight. Who's going to end up getting it? Santorin going into the stasis. It's secured by TSM. Santorin's knocked into the Guardian Angel as Wild Turtle is run down by Bjergsen. JJ will look to peel him away, but into the pit continues another fight. Viper is caught out and shot down. Sven grabs the kill on that one as JJ will continue just trying to buy some time for his allies. He'll be the second noble sacrifice, and TSM come out on top.
And they're not wasting any time. Immediate teleport back here from Broken Blade into the top side so they can push both mid and top side minions here into the turrets. TSM want to end this now.
This has to be the death knell here for Flyquest. TSM, 5 members versus 3 for the next 30 seconds. They've got Baron on everyone. They've already got 2 inhibitors down, working on the 3rd. Minions marching towards the Nexus. Flyquest is going to need nothing short of a miracle to manage to hold this off and prolong this game any longer. Wild Turtle will need to ricochet everybody at once, but it's just not happened so far. TSM has been on point with the saves. They've not allowed Flyquest to play their game. Bjergsen into the back line with the paranoia yet again, stealing those ults all the time. The Nexus is exposed, the enemy team routed, and TSM again victorious.
TSM are now on a 4-game win streak. Back-to-back 2-0 weekends for them. Acadian called it.
Think of all those peasants that didn't think they were gonna smurf soon. Lamau. TSM really getting into their groove here at the midpoint of the season, and what better time? Start off a little bit rough. If you're gonna have some time to get things together, that's what the beginning of the split is for. And then just surge all through the mid and late part of the split, straight through to the playoffs.
Really nice execution there on the double lethality poke composition here from TSM. In the end, Broken Blade also traded out one of the extra Ghost Blades for his Dusk Blade instead, and they're able to finish that one off. I mean, a lot of these games still even came down to fairly close smites on Barons, and this matchup has gone both ways. Now, Flyquest and TSM splitting 1-for-1, with Flyquest taking one of the first one, with the Baron fight as well. So definitely very close competition. Expect both of these teams in playoffs.
Hey, at least you don't have to eat another chip. But to hear more about how TSM are feeling now, Avli is standing by with a victorious bot laner.
Thanks, Flowers. Sven, congratulations on the win. 4 wins in a row for you and TSM. Now, you guys are landing in the top 3 in the standings now. What do you think about TSM and their strengths as a team?
I think our early game has been really good, except for maybe this game. But I think we struggled in the mid game in our losses against Cloud9 especially, and against, CG. I think once our mid game gets a little bit better, we'll be really good. Because now I think that our mid lane game has gotten better, but our early game today was not so good. But I think we're getting better and better.
How do you think the team stacks up to the other teams near the top?
I mean, I think against Cloud9, we played pretty bad. We had a lead, we threw it away. Against TL, we won. So the teams above us right now, we're fine against, I think. We're 1-1 against the top 1 and 2, so I feel comfortable.
So like you said, the win today wasn't as clean as it could have been. Where do you think the team needs to improve or kind of polish up?
I don't know. I think our early game is our biggest strength, but today was off. But I think in general, once we improve our mid game, like I said, I think we'll be a really good team.
Well, Sven, thank you and congratulations again on the win. And for more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you, Avli. Sven confident around TSM's prospects moving through the midpoint of the split, calling out the fact that